Welcome to the RadioU Podcast. Coming up, how your dog could be the next Air Bud.
Also, better watch out. Browns fans have a little bit of hope again.
All that and more on the way next. New fear unlocked. You're going down a water slide, and as you're going through, a hole develops in the water slide.
Develops?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how else to put it. A hole appears in the water slide, and you get injured because of that. A hole that's not supposed to be there. This is what happened this weekend on the Royal Caribbean cruise. It looks like the Icon of the Seas, where one man, he was treated for injuries. It looks like, I believe he's going to be okay. They say he's in stable condition. But Royal Caribbean said a acrylic glass broke off of the water slide he was passing through, and so that caused injuries. Fortunately, he didn't actually fall through the hole in the water slide, because that would obviously been much worse.
That would have been much, much worse. I actually did see the video of this online over the weekend, where people were videoing the water coming out of the water slide, and they were like, oh no, the part of the water slide is falling out. And I was like, I hope they know that up there. Like, no one's going to come down. So it seemed like once this guy went through and they realized, like, one of the panels has like broken off or something, they obviously shut down that slide. Yeah.
I'm curious about, again, let's talk about the size of this man. Was it the man's fault or was it the slide's fault?
Yeah, I kind of, the same thought occurred to my brain as well, where I was like, okay, why did this happen? But I don't know. If I haven't seen any photos of the guy, so I don't know.
At the same time, if the water slide is built in such a way where it's that close,
that fragile,
where there's like an actual realistic human being size that could cause it to break apart, then it's not, like this thing should be rated for like 1,000 pounds. If an elephant can't ride the water slide safely, then I don't think I should be riding. I don't want to be riding that close to the line.
Elephants weigh like tons, so I don't think you want to try and judge it based off of what an elephant can do.
That feels safe at that point. Me and all my friends at the same time, we don't have to worry. I think that's the standard we should be building water slides to.
Gotcha.
I mean, clearly we're not building them to high enough standards.
Yeah, clearly this one was not built well enough to make it. I think I definitely do have a new fear.
Yeah.
As far as going down a water slide now. Like, is this thing okay? Is this going to break?
Are you like roller coasters?
I do.
Are you more afraid of water slides than roller coasters?
I don't think I ever really feared either. I definitely feel like I've heard more horror stories about water slides.
Yeah, it seems that way.
Than roller coasters, but I don't think I ever really did have a fear of either of them.
I think I'm definitely there's not a lot of water slides, I suppose. Well, maybe there are. But like I don't picture myself as like being too afraid to ride a water slide, but also I'm definitely more afraid of them.
Okay.
Because roller coasters, you're strapped in.
Yeah.
The rules are pretty clear. Like, don't try to get out of your restraint. Don't try to stand up or anything like that. And you're probably going to be fine. You might get stuck if it's at Cedar Point. But other than that, like, you're probably going to be okay. Water slides, you're right. People have died because it's like, oh, they were too heavy. Oh, they didn't put their arms the right way. And it's like,
they were decapitated.
I don't like a ride where it's that, again, where I'm riding that close to the line of if I do something wrong that I don't even realize, I could die.
Yeah, no thank you. So definitely if you're going on a water slide, listen to what the lifeguard tells you as you're about to go down. They tell you that thing for a reason, like, cross your hands in front of your chest, keep your head down, whatever. So most water slides are pretty general, like you can sit up or you can sit in an inner tube and you'll be fine. But I think the ones you're talking about is like the human torpedo water slides where you need to be a little more concerned.
I feel like the scary thing about this situation where a hole just developed.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how big the water slide is. This could happen on any water slide.
Yeah.
Even if it doesn't seem scary.
That's true.
You got to watch out.
Yeah.
Tell me if this sounds familiar. MrBeast has an idea for his next video, and this one may be his biggest yet.
Oh, boy, stop.
8772 Radio U. He just did an interview with the Today Show.
Oh, wow.
where he says that one of his next big ideas that he's working on is doing an real-life version of the Hunger Games.
Okay.
Which he's already done. He's already recreated Squid Game in real life, right?
Yep.
And obviously he's done Beast Games too, which is just his own idea of a survival game show in a way. And so next up is Hunger Games, which I feel like he's kind of like, this is our idea.
Is it?
We did a Would You Rather Wednesday where we said,
That's
would you rather
true.
survive in Squid Game or Hunger Games? So
yeah.
I think he owes us, first of all.
Exactly. This was certainly our idea, and he definitely listens to our show. So
I think, for
we
sure.
know he got it from us.
Our check should be in the mail at any time, MrBeast. He says, I've been sitting on this idea where it'd be fun to grab potentially 26 random people, put them on an island, and not use real weapons, maybe like laser tag or something, and then the last remaining one wins $1 million to recreate Hunger Games in real life. I'm also, can we give some advice to MrBeast? Because he clearly needs it. Laser tag's not going to do it, buddy. It's going to have to be better. Paintball at least. Like there needs to be some actual shots being fired or something.
That's fair. Yeah, they'd have to edit in stuff if they do the laser tag.
Yeah, that doesn't feel quite dramatic enough to me.
And maybe that's why he hasn't done it yet. He's still working out the kinks. He's still figuring out the concept. But obviously you can't have the real killing, which is what the Hunger Games is all about.
Yeah, of course.
You know, it's the whole idea of sending two tributes and then they fight to the death.
Although if somebody ever could do that, it's probably MrBeast.
No, I don't think anyone could or should.
Maybe these dystopian, future cautionary tales are all warning us about what one day MrBeast will eventually do. Which is
he's going to become President Snow.
Yeah. Because he keeps upping the ante, and at some point you run out of things that you can do except actually kill people.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Now that would be dramatic.
Yeah, I don't think there's any evidence to say he would try that, but this is an interesting concept. I think it'd be a fun video, and it just makes sense for him to do stuff like this. And the Hunger Games kind of back into popularity again with the recent book. They're filming the new movie that covers that book. So I think it's back in the zeitgeist. If he'd come out with this concept like 5 years ago, it would have felt really out of place.
Yeah.
But now it's like,
more of the kids wouldn't remember Hunger Games.
Right. It just wasn't popular. And so, but it's coming back around.
I mean, then again, it's MrBeast. He could just do whatever.
That's true.
He could recreate like some Frank Sinatra. I don't know. Who are famous people from the olden days? He could do something with them. Who's the guy who danced? Fred Astaire.
Fred Astaire.
Yeah, he could do like a Fred Astaire video. He's like, I'm making Fred Astaire real life. And then people would still watch it. It's MrBeast.
Do you think, I don't know if he'd get as many views as what he gets for his regular videos.
I don't think it would slow him down at all. In fact, that's a challenge, MrBeast. Like, I just think he could do anything.
Hey, I mean, we know he's listening. So if we see a Fred Astaire video come out, we know definitely you need to pay us,
Yeah, he definitely owes us. Fred Astaire for $1 million. And all of a sudden, everybody will watch.
It's a Fred Astaire lookalike contest.
Yeah. Who can do the best dance moves like Fred Astaire? That'd actually be a real challenge, I think. We finally got our first full week of NFL preseason games over the weekend. The headline, of course, Shedeur Sanders of the Cleveland Browns, 8772 Radio U. Many seem to be raving, even LeBron James raving about Shedeur Sanders' debut against the Carolina Panthers on a Friday night. LeBron James said, that young man looking good out there. Keep going up, head down on the grind, and head high to the most high is what he said. And he also went on to say, and I don't want to hear that it's only preseason BS, because if he was out there not going in, y'all would be on his butt about it. So give credit and Grace Lames.
Yeah, he's not wrong. He's not wrong. If Shedeur would have gone out there and looked awful, people would have definitely been like, he's a bust. He's a terrible player. So it's true. We really do pick our moments as far as what we take seriously and what we don't.
And so as a Browns fan, what's your level of excitement now?
It's still pretty mid, I gotta be honest. I'm not at the same level as LeBron on Shedeur Sanders.
Yeah.
I do think he looked good, you know, and I agree with LeBron that if he would have looked bad, people would have been overreacting in that way. But I also don't think we need to overreact in the positive, because while he did pass for 2 touchdowns and like 128 yards or something like that, that's great. It's still preseason.
Yeah.
Not against the best of competition that you're going to see out there for a real game. And also, it was like his completion rate still wasn't amazing. You know, I think he had like I close to 30 attempts and maybe only 14 completions. That's not really good. That's about halfway.
He was 14 of 23 for 138 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Okay, that's a little better than I thought.
Pretty good. But I just want to echo what you're saying of it's the preseason. And yes,
take it with a grain of salt.
I'm not. It is true that if he went out there and threw 2 interceptions and looked like garbage, people would be clowning on him.
Yeah.
That's not what he did. But also, let's not act like this is the most amazing thing we've ever seen.
He didn't
and
look like a world breaker.
He's definitely supposed to be the starter, because you need to look no further than another game on Friday night. Josh Johnson of the Washington Commanders was 15 for 22 with 173 yards and a touchdown.
Ooh.
Nobody's saying Josh Johnson should be an NFL starter. He's 39 years old. So this is just the preseason. This is just what you get.
Yep.
And while it's fun to watch the games and everything, it all is very meaningless. Like, these are not, a lot of the guys that Shedeur was going up against are not guys that are going to be on the field for the Panthers or in the NFL very routinely once the actual regular season starts. So, I mean, I think that it's better than if he sucked, but it doesn't mean that he's definitely good.
Exactly. So as a Browns fan, the only thing I can say is take it with a grain of salt. We have had truly the QB carousel, if you will, for my entire time of being a fan with the Browns. That's really all I remember. So I will never, ever take a preseason game and be like, this is our quarterback, guys. I believe in him, because it just, as you said, it means so little compared to an actual game.
Yeah. But, I mean, as a Browns fan, maybe you should just cheer for the preseason. This is as good as it's going to get for you, probably.
Oh, come on.
We have someone who says, "Hi, I recently moved in with some new roommates. One of them I already knew from school. We had been quite good friends. He always had a strong smell.
Oh.
But I assumed it was just hormones."
That's an assumption.
Last week, we had a roommate meeting where he suggested instead of splitting the water bill the 3 ways, we should only split it 2 ways, half for me, half for the other person, not half for this guy, because the reason being is the 2 of us shower every day and this guy doesn't.
He doesn't shower at all?
The other, this roommate, the one who smells, showers twice a week.
Ooh.
That's what they claim. Every day I come home from work, I open all the windows and light up all the candles because the apartment smells sour, like gym sweat and unwashed feet.
Oh.
I don't know what to do. I'm pretty sensitive to smell, and I was thinking of investing in some essential oils that will be burning 24/7. Should I talk to this guy about how I feel? 8772 Radio U. The simple answer to your question is definitely yes.
Yeah.
But I think we need some more wide-ranging
answers on what to do and how to do this.
We need some different advice here, on more specific advice on what to do. Your roommate stinks. Doesn't think you should pay the water bill because he only showers twice a week. And so that's a twofold thing. 1, you're paying more for water, and 2, the place stinks because of this individual. 8772 Radio U. How do you approach this? I'm glad that we are not in this situation.
Oh my goodness. I'm so glad I never had to deal with something like this in my time of having roommates.
Yeah. I'll say 8772 Radio U. What is the advice for the stinky roommate that only showers twice a week? How do you handle this? We'll see what people are saying coming up. We're doing roommate debate, where we have a roommate who writes in and says that he's living with 2 other guys. One of them in a roommate meeting just suggested that instead of splitting the water bill 3 ways, they should only split it 2 ways, because this roommate doesn't shower more than twice a week, so they're not using as much water. Oh, yeah. Also, this roommate smells horrible. And
I wonder why.
We have the other roommate writing in saying, what should I do here? We can start with Nancy, who texted in and said, I'd offer to pay his part of the water bill as long as he showers daily. You have to say something. You can't have your place smelling that bad.
Yeah. Oh, that's, that would be very generous, but he definitely needs to shower more than twice a week.
That is,
At least every other day. Come on, buddy.
That covers, I guess, if you're thinking that, like, if he's just trying to save money, if your roommate is like this strapped for cash, then that does kind of, takes that lane away from him to be like, I can't shower because I can't afford to shower. We'll make it so you can afford to shower.
Yeah, just shower, buddy.
Some things are worth that.
Yeah, some things are worth just you not smelling bad. Also heard from Erin. She said, definitely tell them, don't be afraid to lay it on heavy, just like their odor.
Nice one. We also heard from Amber, who says, ditch those roommates and find some better ones. What in the actual heck?
Aww.
This is the struggle we run into with love them or leave them and fired or hired and roommate debate. It's always like, why don't you just quit?
Just leave.
Yeah, why don't you just break up with them? They suck because of this one story. And It's just like,
as if breaking a lease is easy.
They just moved in a couple weeks ago.
Right.
So I don't think it's not that easy. But I feel like there's a couple different ways you can handle this. And it maybe depends on how, like, they said they were friends, but like, how close of friends are you?
Yeah.
Because there's the sit down heart to heart, like, listen, you might not realize this, but you shower only 2 times a week. Everybody can tell.
Yeah.
You stink.
You're nose blind to yourself.
It's bad for us because we live with you, but it's also like people are talking about you behind your back at your job or whatever. You can do that. You could also do kind of like, I would consider this like the dude way. It's almost like a dad would do, I think.
Yeah.
And that is like, and maybe this comes after you've had the conversation with him. And it's just like every time he walks in the room, be like, like really exaggerate. Yeah.
Yeah.
And just do not relent on that. Like, just really keep that up.
Yeah.
And make him think about it all the time.
Right.
Until he changes his ways.
Until he becomes self-aware.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not a terrible idea either. And I was thinking too, the roommate mentions it's like stinking up the apartment. Mm-hmm. It makes me think, though, that if this person is having such a big issue with just showering regularly, they probably aren't doing some of the other things that they need to do to make sure that the apartment is smelling good, like probably not doing their laundry as much as they should.
True, yeah.
Washing their sheets, changing their sheets, and also, like just cleaning their room in general or the bathroom, whatever. And so to me, it's like there might be some underlying signs here that's like not just his personal hygiene that's bad, but also like overall just not very good at cleaning up.
Yeah.
Because if the whole apartment is smelling, that leads me to think that. So I think obviously try and get him to shower. That's where it starts, but it may be something where he's got to just learn some other basic skills too.
Yeah, and by the way, I don't know if it shouldn't be too late to resolve this, but there's no way you should be splitting the water bill 2 ways.
No.
There's other things, even if he has the worst hygiene and isn't washing his clothes very regularly and only showering twice a week, there's still, he's going to the bathroom.
Right.
He's got to be using the sink.
He's got to be drinking water.
Yeah, what about
I hope.
The dishwasher? Like, there's got to be other things, and even like, that's not how it works with bills. Like, he's still got to be paying the 3 ways. And if he's got to pay his share of the bill, then maybe he'll be more inclined to actually use the water that he's paying for.
I would hope so.
So stand your ground on that. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, no way.
If you back down on that, then actually there might, like, you're in for however long you're supposed to live with this person.
Yeah.
Shout out to Nolan, who just hit us up at RadioU and at Hudson Radio U on Twitter. X. Nolan found a RadioU video game.
What?
8772
we have a video game?
RadioU. Kind of.
Okay.
Yeah, this is a video game called, I read it as RadioU, The Mystery of the Soulless Army.
What?
It's out on the Nintendo Switch. It's actually, I don't know how to pronounce it, but they have the D and the I switched.
Oh.
So it's RAIDOU, so like RadioU or something like that.
Yeah.
Apparently this is a older game that goes back like 20 years, but they just put out a remastered version like a couple weeks ago. People seem to like.
Okay.
But it's still funny how close it looks like RadioU.
It does. It does trick your brain for a second. When you first look at it, you think it does say RadioU. But it looks very much from the art, like anime style.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So obviously this is not an actual RadioU video game because an actual RadioU video game doesn't exist as far as we know. Anyways, maybe somebody's done some indie thing that we didn't give our consent to on Steam or something like that. But here's my question. If there was a RadioU video game, what would happen? What kind of video game would we be making?
Ooh, I think the first one that comes to mind for me, because one of my favorite games that I used to play all the time, especially in high school, was Call of Duty Black Ops 2 Zombies.
Okay, and how does that apply to RadioU?
I think it would be fun if we played it like it's you can play either me, you, Nene, Sparkle, any of the RadioU DJs. And basically, you have to try and defend the station from a zombie apocalypse.
And the zombies are commercials.
Yeah.
They could be like commercial spokespeople.
Right.
Like Flo from Progressive. She's a zombie now.
I don't know if we can get the rights for all those people, but maybe it could be a Flo adjacent.
Yeah, I guess it would be like Flu or something because then it wouldn't be one. We wouldn't actually be advertising because if Flo is in the game, that also kind of feels like an advertisement.
Yeah, it feels like
even if you are
commercial.
shooting her head off,
right,
with a shotgun.
Yep.
I had a different idea. I was thinking more like we do kind of go old school, but like side scroller style.
Oh, that would be fun.
And it's a game where I'm the main character, of course. You play as me.
Okay.
And it's me on my walks that I go on every day. And then like along the way, obviously.
You run into different things?
Like obviously there's different food items scattered across, and some
hot
of the
dogs give you a stamina. Endurance.
Oreos and coffee, of course. And then there'd be things you want to avoid, like vegetables. You don't want to accidentally get any vegetables.
It sucks the life from you.
Yeah, that takes a heart away.
Takes your health away, yeah.
And then there's like other hazards that would come about, like Nene, I don't know, asking you to buy him lunch or something like that. And things of that nature. And that's what I have in mind.
I mean, both of those sound like a really fun time. I think my game sounds a little more like heart pounding. Yours sounds a little more relaxing.
Yeah. Maybe mine's a phone game.
Yeah.
Like something you play on the phone. But honestly, wouldn't it just be nice to have a game on your phone that didn't have ads on it?
Oh, that would be so nice. Because I do every once in a while, I'll get like an itch to get a game on my phone.
Yeah, sometimes you just want to kill time.
Right. I usually don't keep games on my phone because they just are like annoying to me. But then I start playing the game that I've downloaded and I'm like, this is why I don't have games on my phone because there's so many commercials and they're so annoying.
You play one level and then it gives you a 3-minute ad that's unskippable.
Right.
And at the end of it, it takes you to the Play Store to download the game that it was showing you in the ad.
Yep.
Yeah, and then the notifications are out of control unless you turn them off. So, yeah, just be nice. Maybe RadioU should start working on that.
I think so.
Getting into that space. I mean, Netflix has done it.
Yeah.
Why not us?
Why not?
Okay, stop me when what I say could get me sued. 8772 RadioU. Jake Paul boxing fights are staged.
Ooh, yeah, you need to stop.
You're not allowed to say that.
He's coming after you.
I mean, you're allowed to say it. You can have your own opinions and you're entitled to them, but those opinions could get you sued.
They could.
We talked about this before. It was after Jake Paul's most recent fight against Julio Cesar Chavez Jr.
Yep.
He had just done an interview with Piers Morgan, and Piers Morgan went on to claim that Jake Paul's fights were boring and staged. They were boring staged BS, is what he said. Jake Paul, after the fight, him and his entourage basically had said that we are going to sue anybody. He's tired of putting up with, he thought it was just haters being haters, but now he's asked his team to go vigorously after anyone who makes up lies about his boxing career.
Yeah. So
that was a few weeks ago.
And one of those people, when we originally talked about the story, was, Piers Morgan.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Piers Morgan got a letter.
He has to have.
He got a letter.
Because a few days ago on Saturday, he posted out on Twitter that basically clarifying all of that statement that he had made, where he said that Jake Paul's boxing career was boring stage BS. Piers Morgan said, "What I meant is that his fights have been predominantly against older, past their prime opponents, which may be lucrative for both sides and may have entertainment value, but don't reveal how he stacks up against currently ranked boxers and therefore are not a good look for the sport." So he's just clarifying, I think very clearly, that wanting to make it clear enough that he wasn't saying that they were staged, because I think that's where the real legal part of it comes into Jake Paul, of like he's saying we have contracts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so you can't say these are staged, because by the letter of what we signed, there was no agreements or anything like that to have one outcome or another.
Yeah, these are on the up and up, according to Jake Paul and his team. And so it makes sense that would be the one leg they can stand on if they actually did want to go down the path of suing somebody that comes after them. It would have to be based on them saying something that would be provably untrue, that it's like staged or whatever. So within the contracts, if they show that, these aren't supposed to have a predetermined outcome, then they have some, I guess, standing in the law. Yeah.
Now, even that, Piers Morgan is scared enough that he decided to basically print a retraction for all intents and purposes. But I still think it's hard to, maybe not in a court of law, but it's going to be hard to convince anybody that if they, just because the contracts don't say, and Jake Paul will win by decision, that there wasn't some agreement behind closed doors, and there's definitely people out there that will never be convinced otherwise.
Right.
That is what happened, and I can't say that I blame them all that much.
I can't say that I blame them either, and I think Jake Paul just needs to accept this. Never at any point in the world is everyone going to like you. Mm-hmm. You are a very polarizing person. And so people will always question you, and they're always going to see if you are doing things the wrong way, if you're not actually fighting, on the up and up, and these fights are predetermined or whatever. And also, you haven't helped your case in any sense of the word, because you continually are fighting these boxers that are coming out of retirement.
You don't need to stage them when they're...
No, and so it's just like people are not going to give you the benefit of the doubt when you're fighting these boxers that are washed up.
We'll see if he ever actually gets the Anthony Joshua fight to happen before Anthony Joshua is also past his prime. It'll be interesting to see, because that feels like more of a serious fight.
Yeah.
But there's also the thing to this too, of in some sense, especially with Jake Paul, all publicity is good publicity.
Yeah.
But when you're going after people and suing them for saying your fights are staged, doesn't it have a little bit of a Streisand effect, where you're bringing even more attention to
how horrible of a person you are,
and how people don't believe in your fights.
Right.
The more you're bringing attention to that by suing people like Piers Morgan.
Yeah.
It's our Monday tradition, the box office breakdown, letting you know what made money and what didn't in theaters over the weekend. And I'll tell you what did make some money, more than expected. The new movie Weapons. It was number one at the box office, $42 million in North America. Over $70 million worldwide for a horror movie.
That is honestly shocking.
Unbelievable.
Shocking that it was number one when you had a big Disney release also coming out on the same weekend.
Yeah, which did okay as well. That was Freakier Friday, which came in at second place with $29 million in North America, and I believe about $42 million worldwide.
Wow. I just keep thinking about that. What a year for Warner Brothers as a studio.
It is crazy. Yeah, the list here of movies that they put out this starting going back to April. Warner Brothers had Minecraft. So basically these are all movies that you would eventually see on HBO Max.
Yeah.
Minecraft, The New Final Destination, F1, Sinners, and Superman, and now Weapons are all Warner Brothers movies.
And two of those very successful as far as clearly with the public, but also with critical reviews.
Yeah.
and they're both horror movies.
And original movies, too.
Right.
Not in a franchise.
Not in a franchise, completely new, standalone. And I have to say, as a horror movie fan, this is awesome to see that the two top reviewed films that are like box office hits for the year so far are horror movies, Sinners and Weapons. That's honestly really impressive.
Yeah, I really hate that, actually, now that you mention it, because now this is going to be like, oh, we should make more horror movies and promote them a lot. And then I'm going to be going to the theaters just trying to have a good time. They're going to spook me.
Oh, yeah, they're pretty careful with that. But I will say, I don't think that this should encourage people to make more horror movies, but this should encourage people that there's money out there if you make good horror movies, which clearly Weapons, and I would definitely say Sinners, was a good horror movie because I've seen Sinners, but I haven't seen Weapons yet.
Rounding out the top 3 of the box office this week was Fantastic Four: First Steps, which was down to $15 million. And in total, Fantastic Four now has made $434 million worldwide. What's the last thing you watched? Let us know at 8772 Radio U. Allie, what's the last thing you saw?
Over the weekend, I did have a girls' trip, so we watched a whole host of films and movies.
An array, you could say?
Yeah, we just love to do that together. But I have to say, the one that stood out the most, one of my favorite movies of all time, Wayne's World.
Oh, that's a classic.
So funny.
That's a movie that it feels like they could still reboot one day.
No, I don't want them to do that. I really don't.
I maybe not reboot, but like Happy Gilmore 2 treatment on Wayne's World. I guess it'd be Wayne's World 3.
I just don't think they can pull it off. As much as I trust Mike Myers, I just don't think they can have the same jokes and the same type of humor and all of that. I mean, you got Alice Cooper in there. You've got so much that's going for it.
What?
As in its era that just won't work now.
What better time to update it than with, like today's current rock stars, like Machine Gun Kelly.
No, that sounds terrible.
Skillet could be in it.
I mean, I'd be okay with John Cooper, but MGK, that sounds like what they would do if they tried to make it again or make it now, and that'd be a no from me.
I've watched the entirety in 1 week of the new season of King of the Hill, speaking of reboots.
Oh, yeah.
And if you were ranking the seasons, it definitely would not rank as the worst, which is good.
Okay.
Because that was my fear, is that this is going to be definitely like a massive step down versus all of the King of the Hill that I watched with my parents growing up and whatever. It's not the best, and I'll tell you the toughest thing, the thing that is the hardest to deal with, and this is going to happen with it, especially with an animated show after it's been away for years, is some of the voices are just off, and it just really is noticeable.
Yeah.
Some of the characters the actors that have voiced the characters have passed away.
Right.
Which you have no control over that. Some of them were switched for other reasons, and it is just jarring and takes you out of it.
Yep, pulls you out.
But if you can step aside from that, like basically everything else, like if you just loved King of the Hill before, you would love the new season just as much. Let us know what you've seen lately. 8772 Radio U. That's your box office breakdown. This is a wild headline I just read. 8772 Radio U. It says, wild pigs in California are turning blue on the inside, officials warn.
What? Why?
Thank you, officials, for warning me.
Yeah. What?
It's a weird way to put it.
Right.
Warning, pigs are turning blue on the inside.
Okay. What am I supposed to do about that?
Yeah. Give them a hug. Like, are they sad? Is
or
that
are they
kind of blue?
radioactive? Like, do I need to be even more concerned about being near wild boars, which you shouldn't be, by the way?
Yeah,
wild
they can
boars
be
are
dangerous, right? Do not give them hugs, even if they are sad. It sounds more like the radioactive thing because one of the quotes from one of the officials is literally, I'm not talking about a little blue. I'm talking about neon blue. Blueberry blue.
Blueberry blue.
Also, those are two different very shades of blue.
Very
neon
different. Neon and blueberry, I don't consider the same.
This may be an expert on pigs. He's not an expert on blues. No. On colors. But I am curious as to why. The headline worked because now I am curious as to why they think, or they have found that wild pigs are turning blue on the inside. Let's see if we can get to the bottom of this. They say that the pigs had consumed the anticoagulant rodenticide difenacinone,
Okay.
It's a poison used by farmers to control populations of rats, mice, squirrels, and other small animals. We need that here for Radio U.
Oh yeah, we had issues
safe.
with the rodents.
It says these substances often contain dye to identify them as poison, which is likely why the pigs are experiencing blue muscle and fat.
Interesting.
Is because they're eating blue dye on poison, and while I guess maybe or maybe not, it's killing them, but it's definitely turning them blue.
Well, it said, despite what you would think, they are turning blue and eating this, this technically poison, but they weren't actually sick. They're
so
fine.
They built up a tolerance, too.
Yeah, they are some type of weird with this ability to eat poison and be okay.
If they can eat poison and turn blue on the inside, who knows what else they can do.
I know, I'm getting nervous. Honestly, as you're reading this, the only thing I can think of is the song, the VeggieTales song from the episode about Madame Blueberry.
Okay.
Where it's like, I'm so blue.
And this is what the pigs are singing.
That's all I can hear in my head right now. Please, somebody tell me that you know what I'm talking about.
How about a slightly more updated reference? How about that song that's like, I'm blue, bada bee, bada bye.
I think that's older than the VeggieTales, actually.
Yeah, except they brought it back and made it a song again a couple years ago.
Yeah, but that's not
for some unknown reason.
That's not the same.
I think it was Calvin Harris was like, this song wasn't played enough when it first came out, and you know what, it could really use a new fresh take to make everybody listen to it again, and that's what he did.
I mean, people were listening to it a lot because I heard it all the time, but
everybody knows the blues song.
I was just annoyed because I was like, I'd much rather hear it from the original than this crappy new version.
I'd rather not hear either version of that horrible
That's fair. I'd much rather hear the VeggieTales song.
He just lists all the things in his life that are blue. And that's a song that was like #1 on the charts.
Right.
You gotta love the 90s. And now it's coming true with these pigs.
Yeah.
It's their soundtrack to their summer.
They're so blue.
It's blue innards summer for these
blue
pigs.
innards?
We're getting dangerously close to the North America just being overrun by boars.
I feel like we talk about a boar story at least once a month. We hit our boar quota.
In Texas, didn't we talk? Is Texas where you can shoot them from a helicopter, or was that a different animal?
I think that was goats.
Oh, yeah. But in Texas, you can definitely shoot these things.
It was like sheep.
I know in Canada and in Texas, and now I guess in California, these boars are running rampant. They're overtaking everything. And apparently we can't even poison them to death.
No, that does not work on them.
They're
mutants.
Invincible. Yeah. After almost 30 years since the original Air Bud came out, we're about to get a new theatrical Air Bud movie. And your dog could be the star.
Oh, really?
8772 Radio U. They say for the first time ever, Robert Vince, the creator of the Air Bud franchise, announced that his team they're taking applications for the dog that will play the part of Air Bud in the new movie Air Bud Returns.
And they're just opening up this audition to anybody with a dog.
It can be
with a golden retriever.
It does, unfortunately, and what I find very discriminatory, it does have to be an actual golden retriever.
I mean, that's not discriminatory. It's Air Bud. That fits. They need Air Bud to be a golden retriever.
Well, I think times are different than in 1997 when the first Air Bud came out, and I think that audiences are maybe looking for different kinds of dogs to be stars of movies. You know, there's other kinds of dogs in the world.
Well, then make a different movie. This is an Air Bud movie.
I think there's nothing about Air Bud that says it has to be a golden retriever.
There's everything about Air Bud that says it needs to be a golden retriever because that's what it was.
That's what it was at first, but things are different now.
I don't like this because this is the same, line of thinking that's like, we can change whatever we want in any movie ever. When it gets remade. No, make the original.
It's a work of fiction. Air Bud could be a cat. Air Bud could be an elephant for all we care.
No, Air Bud cannot be a cat.
Yes, it could. It could too.
No,
it wouldn't be as fun.
Cat. I love cats, and I don't want it to be a cat. Air Bud is a golden retriever.
I don't like that closed-mindedness of yours.
It's not closed-minded. Just make a different movie about a different type of dog.
Why can't Air Bud Returns be about Air Bud, the original Air Bud's mixed breed offspring?
No, let's stop trying to change all of this nostalgic stuff into new stuff where it's like, we think we know better now and we want to make it with all these other things. And it's like, it doesn't need to be that way.
But it doesn't need to be, but it could be.
Why?
Why? Because there's an audience that appreciates golden retrievers and also an audience that appreciates the original Air Bud. And they're probably going to go see the original Air Bud audience. They want to see more Air Bud anyways. That's just what they want to do. But they can bring in more of a vast audience if they make Air Bud's offspring a Boston Terrier. And all of a sudden now you've got Air Bud fans and Boston Terrier fans both coming together, and you've expanded your horizons.
And now you've turned your back on all the original Air Bud fans. And then I don't think you can really take them for granted like you're assuming here.
You win them back with a sequel that actually basically says the previous movie that what you just saw shouldn't have existed.
So
this is the game you play. The game I think we should play in Hollywood. Yeah.
No, this is the game Hollywood is playing, and I hope they're learning from it. It doesn't work. So leave Air Bud alone.
I think Air Bud could be just fine as a Chihuahua.
No.
Sparkle would be so excited.
No, it needs to be a golden retriever.
Or how about a Great Pyrenees, a Great Dane? How about some dogs that never get moved?
Scooby-Doo.
That never get.
Scooby-Doo's already well representing the Great Danes.
Yeah, that's right. We need an underrepresented dog to take over as Air Bud.
No, we don't.
Like
this is crazy.
A Jack Russell Terrier.
No.
Those things are maniacs. And it'd be actually good to see a positive portrayal of them in a movie.
But then it would be lies.
It would be Air Jack. How about we call it that? Is that fine if we call it that?
If they want to make Air Jack, I'm fine with that. But just don't make Air Bud a different type of dog. It's a golden retriever. We can all agree on this.
I'm not agreeing. And it's not just because I want Zafira the dog to be Air Bud. In fact, she'd make a terrible Air Bud.
So see, why are you advocating for this?
Because I think that there's more than one way to approach it.
Well, I think you're wrong. Thanks for listening to the RadioU Podcast. Don't forget to rate and review the show.